This is a big topic, especially for today. And in this video, I'm going to be going over some really important stuff that needs to be known because I too was in the same position 2 weeks ago. And I'll walk you through my decision and what I chose to do and help give some insight on what you're thinking. Because I went and I studied various different things to see how can you go about this doing it the best possible way, consulted different people to see what truly is possible, and essentially here's what you need to know if you are considering of dropping out of college or university. And watch the end of the video to hear the full thoughts, because all of these factors could make or break yourself and it is in fact a life decision. So all of these factors are important, and I'm not an expert on this topic, but this is just some knowledge points that helped me make my decision. And if you're thinking of dropping out of college, let's go into it. So first of all, I almost dropped out of college around 2 weeks ago, and it's probably the same reason that you clicked on this video. You're probably entrepreneurial, you have big dreams, and you want to go chase it, and you feel that college is stifling you from being able to do this. So you're seriously considering dropping out of college because you want control in your life, you want freedom and autonomy, and also you're probably not too happy with your classes, the courses you're taking, and you think, couldn't I just learn it in the moment, on the go? You know, we have AI, we have Google, you can find any answer you need online. And that was exactly the thoughts that I was thinking. Now, I eventually decided to stay in college, and the reason that I did that, first of all, was reality. And what I mean by that is essentially we live in a world where you need money to survive. So if you were to drop out now, would you still be able to make up all your living expenses, your rent, your cost of food and everything? Because if you're not going to get support for that, or if you're not physically able to do it based on whatever your pursuit is, for example, off of this channel, this was one of the pursuits I wanted to pursue, but I'm not making any money right now, so it's not too feasible. And essentially, the first thing you need to do if you're really serious about dropping out is figure out where you live, what the cost of living is, and see, can you make that much money essentially to survive, because you don't want to end up homeless or starving. And the cost of living where I am is around 4,000 USD, according to my calculations, based on rent, food expenses, and utilities, and all sorts of other things. So essentially, and this could be wrong, figure out what the number is for you. And essentially, unless you're making that $4,000 a month, which by the way is just the bare minimum to get by, for 2 to 3 months in a row consistently, and have 6 months of that saved up, so about 24,000 saved up in the case of emergencies, because we live in a crazy world, there's wars going on all the time, taxes keep going up, we have all these problems which seem to not be solved. So that is one of the many key points. And one of the reasons that is significant is because if you were to struggle to do that, and you to drop out today and then go pursue your dreams, then the time that you would have spent studying in university is now being spent on survival. So in that case, if you were to make the switch, and then you end up having to get jobs before your business is profitable, then you're essentially replacing your study time with your self trying to be able to make enough to get by and survive. So with that being the case, I realized that it's actually much easier to pursue it while in university, because you still have time to do what you want. You still have time to make content, post videos, write books, start businesses in university. You have all the time in the world if you manage your time correctly. And these are my raw, unfiltered thoughts. So I'm going to be pausing, but that's just because it's just straight from the dome, and I want to say everything. And I don't want it to be one of those hyper edited videos, because I know I was in the same boat looking at stuff, and then, the editing, the retention editing, and it's just so confusing. You don't know what's happening with the video. Now, a root cause that probably leads you to doing this is the courses that you're studying as well. And a piece of advice as a university student in second year: when you're picking your courses, or if you're in high school now and you're going to university, this is very important because I fell into this trap. Do not pick bird courses. I know, you're saying, this guy doesn't want me to get an easy grade, this random guy on the internet doesn't want me to get an easy grade, bump up my average, and look cool for resumes and jobs. But you really want to be interested in the course that you're taking, because one of the reasons that initially conceived the thought in my head that I want to drop out was because for some of the electives I'm taking, I didn't take it out of interest. I took it out of what would be an easy grade, and now I have to pay the price for that and study things that I'm not interested in at all. And to me, frankly, feels like a waste of time, because it's useless and it's not going to go towards anything I'm going to do in life. But that can be easily avoided. Make sure you really spend time researching the classes in your program, what electives you can take, and only take classes based on interest. Because the reason some classes are marked as birds in the first place is because someone found that interesting in the first place. Not because he didn't find that uninteresting and it was an easy mark. And also, speak with people around you, hear their thoughts. As humans, we need to always stay connected and hear from what other people have to think. So, strongly suggest speaking with your parents as well, seeing what they say, and because they've had more of life experience under their belt. So even if at first you're not going to like it, it's better to get that 2 minutes of pain of unacceptance versus dropping out, which, if it doesn't work out, could be a bad decision. Now, of course, you're familiar with Facebook, with Microsoft, and all these big guys. They were university dropouts, but they had a plan. So if you're really, really keen on it, one thing to know is you're going to be done your degree in 2 or so years anyways. So it'd be better at that point just to prepare yourself, so that by the time you graduate, you can pursue what you want to, so that you're in a better position then than you are now. So for example, start working towards that cost of living amount, or whatever the monetary goal amount is, so that you can make that money consistently in university, and so that by the time you graduate, you've essentially given yourself 2 years to test run this. What you can even do, like right now, is stay at university for the next month and test run. Let's say, for example, the 4,000. See if you can make that 4,000 in that month. And if you can, great job. You're on the right path. Keep going. But if you can't, you just saved yourself. Because if you were in the other scenario where you actually did it and you committed to it, then you wouldn't be eating, or you'd be in problems with your landlord, or all of the above. And for me personally, the main reason was just for the content, because I'm a firm believer that you can just learn anything on demand through books online and all of that. But regardless, it's it's not good to start cycles of things, to say you're going to do something and then not finish it, because each new dream you pursue, or for example, like I have a guitar in my room. I haven't even played guitar at all. Just hopping from hobbies to hobbies. And if you start it, you might as well finish it. Your mom didn't raise a quitter, so you might as well do it. And if it's other concerns, say for example, other concerns could be you're not getting enough enjoyment, or relationships, or clubs, or getting healthy, working out. For me personally, that wasn't a problem, because I found that to be much more easier than the other part of studying some random course that I decided to take about, and now I have to memorize a bunch of names for volcanoes. Maybe that's for you, but it is not something I want to be doing with my life at this moment. So really make sure that you have the courses that you want, because of course if you're not taking courses that you want and you're interested in and can actually be useful to your life, of course you're not going to want to be in university, because this is, as a wise man once said, my dad says, the enlightenment period. So how are you being enlightened if you're learning a bunch of BS which isn't going to help you in your life? Now, there's also a lot of other factors that go into this. So, if I could ask you, the viewer watching this, any one thing in the world, it would be to comment down below. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind? I'm not judging. I'm just saying my perspective. There's tons of other videos with different people's perspectives. I'm just very curious to see where you're coming from, and maybe I can see if I can help you navigate some things, because I can understand it can be super confusing, and you're really just sick of it. You just want to drop out in a heartbeat. But it's very important to make sure you're making the right decision. Pray about it, ask God. Read the Holy Word, see where that will take you, and I say essentially for me, the biggest thing is, it's phenomenal if you've had that clarity, because now you have a head start on everyone else. You actually know what you want to do with your life, whereas a lot of other people, are doing useless degrees which won't benefit them. Now that you have this clarity, you can now tailor your life to create the life that you want, with the head start. And it just, however many years you have to go through it, just 2 or 3 years, the time's going to go by anyways. You can do it. And the most important thing, but here's the twist, here's the most important thing, is you have to be able to survive. So that is very crucial. Will you be able to survive? And also another point of thought, for example, is if you do it, you probably lose a lot of community. Make sure you have people that you're staying in touch with. and make sure you're enjoying every moment. I know all this stuff can, it sounds so easy to say it, but true change, you can only change your life when you change your life. So really, really think about it, do the calculations, and consult a lot of people. Make sure you hear opinions that you don't want to hear, because if you just surround yourself with people that tell you, yes, that's a great idea, you will fail in life. And yeah, that's my thoughts. That's why I'm staying in. And honestly, just a few days ago, I was remaking, and today remaking my course selection for next semester, dropping out of all the courses that I originally took as a bird course and replacing it with courses that would actually be interesting to me. And also as well, another thing you can do, if there's one specific course you really don't like, you can just swap that out for something else. Take a summer course, but do with this information as you will. I hope that you make the right decision. There's so many more elements that go into this, but essentially, if you stuck to the end of this video, thank you so much. Just make sure, is it the right decision? Consult as many people as you can. Even consult AI, consult Google. Look at the stats. Most people say they'll return, but I think the number is 80 or 90% of people that say they'll take a gap year and then return. They don't. They never do, and they end up having a terrible life. And I saw in other comment sections as well, people say, "Oh, was more mistakes in your life?" Two, if you really, really want to do this, which truly is me, if I had everything lined up, I would drop out now to pursue my dreams if I had, every element of life. But life isn't that easy, so make sure you have the support if you're doing that, if you're going to be able to survive, and that you're actually going to go all in, because there is no quitting once you do that. So it's all or nothing. If you do, if any of those is a no, then you can't do it because you simply won't survive. But if you really, really want to do it, start working as hard as you can today. It's easier to work towards your dreams in university than when you're working towards surviving. Thank you for your time. God bless. I pray you make the right decision.